En Radio Donde
It's been probably like a while since I've been to Chile, and damn it, Mo, Mia, stop. Nobody wants to hear your trip to Chile. So it's been a while since I've been to Chile, but like even to this day, I still really, really miss it. It was the best vacation I've ever taken in my life. And technically, I've only been out of the country like twice? No, maybe it was once. I don't know. But this was like probably the first time I ever felt like I was out of the country and I was exploring something completely different from what I'm used to. So the flight to Chile, I think it was about like 9 hours, I think. And the flight sucked. The food was awful. It looks pretty, but it tasted awful. The plane itself was cool. We rode on a American Airlines Dreamliner, which is this gigantic freaking plane, and it seats like a ton of people, and it's got like dimming windows instead of like, you know, a shade that you would pull down. And the flight was fine, and you know, towards like, I guess a few hours into the flight, they dimmed the lights in the plane, so it kind of gave like the plane like kind of a nighttime sort of feel to it. So I guess that's just like to help you go to sleep, because again, it's like a 10-hour flight. And I think maybe I got a little bit of an hour's worth of sleep, and then I was freezing cold, and they gave us complimentary blankets, but I couldn't use any because some lady stole my blankets that I had saving in the seat next to me that was empty. But you know, whatever. So once we landed into Santiago, we go through customs just like normal, and you know, we get in fine, no problems. And then when we're going out into like the pickup section of the airport, you can't see anything outside because everything's kind of enclosed in this little customs check-in area. So you just go towards these double doors, and that's what's gonna lead you outside to like the glass, you know, window area, the cafes, you know, an ATM, stuff like that. Okay, so I didn't record it, but I need you to picture it in your mind. Okay, let's pretend you're a celebrity, okay? You're a celebrity, you're walking down the red carpet, and there's paparazzi everywhere, and they're all yelling at you to, you know, look over here, let's take your picture, and you know, the flashing lights. And then there's that little gate, you know, the dinky little gate that's around the carpet that kind of like separates the paparazzi from like attacking you. So imagine that, okay? But instead of paparazzi, it's taxi drivers, and they're all yelling at you in Spanish. That's how you get greeted in Chile once you get off the airport. So my friend finally met up with us, and she took us to a bus station where we could check in our luggage. We really wanted to explore Santiago, and since we were already there and it was like 7 or 8 in the morning, so we took a bus to a train station, and then from there we went down into the subway area to board a train, and this is going to take us to the upper side of Santiago. And while we were on the train, a girl came on to the train with us, and she was carrying like a little karaoke box, it looked like, and she had a little microphone in her hand, and she just, you know, she sets her little karaoke machine down, and then she presses play. And I thought it was really weird because I was like, what is she doing? Like, she's just gonna like blare her music like on the train? But then she just starts singing, and she sings really, really good. She was really good. I was very impressed. Anyway, I think we gave her some money because like anybody who sings to me anywhere, like take my money. Like that just takes so much like guts, you know, to do it, or what is it, ganas? So we're walking up to a Dominican monastery, and it's huge. It's also very, very old. I almost felt like, you know, if we touched the walls or we touched the doors or anything like that, like it would just like you know, crumble and break because it looks like it's gonna fall apart. But it's really well maintained and it's kept up. And so once we were done kind of like exploring the monastery, we went right next door and they have like a little artisan market area and it's connected to the church. So we just kind of walk around the artisan area and look at all the things that they have. And it's incredible. Some of the things that they've made in here is by hand. I think there's like a little plaque where you can like put your keys on, but it looked like, you know, the side of a house, and you can see like the little windows and little things of bricks. It was crazy how much detail it had. And while we were walking in this little artisan area, there was fur babies everywhere. They were so cute. And so we were starting to get a little bit hungry, so there was actually a cafe that was inside of the little artisan shop area, and we stopped in there to get some food. And oh my god, their desserts looked immaculate. Oh dang. So I couldn't really read the menu because a lot of it was in Spanish, and I'm just not really familiar with really anything in Spanish. So my friend mentioned a plate called pastel de choclo, and choclo is corn in Chile. And I think like everywhere else they call it like maíz. It's basically like a pot pie, and the crust is made out of corn. And so what's on the inside is like onions, raisins, beef, chicken, eggs, black olives, really like, I guess kind of like anything you would want to put into your little pie. And it's delicious, and it's like a Chilean staple. So if you go to Chile, you have to get one of these. So once we're done visiting the artisan shops and stuffing our faces, we head to Cerro San Cristobal. Getting out in the streets of Santiago was crazy. It was packed full of people, and there's people with like their booths on the streets, and you know, they're selling odds and ends, sometimes food. I've never been around like this many people outside, so this was super foreign to me. So we get in line and there's like a ton of people everywhere. There's even a llama. Oh my God, it was like the highlight of my day. I've never seen like a llama like in real life. So this was like the epitome of my heart. Like it was magical. So we get into this huge line of people, and all I see is a giant castle. And I'm thinking we're going to, you know, this really cool, you know, medieval looking castle, and you know, we're going to be venturing into the history of that. So she tells me that it's not a castle, it's just like a facade, but inside is a device called a funicular. This funicular is like a trolley, and it goes all the way up the hill. And that's what we're actually coming to this castle for. So we're waiting in this line for like ever. And finally, when we get to the front of the line and we're about to get onto this funicular, the guy who works there at the funicular, he tells us like, hey, we're about to close. So like, we'll take you up, but you gotta find your own way back down. So we get on this funicular, and I'm getting nervous because I've never been on a funicular, and I don't really know if I'm scared of heights. And it goes for miles, it feels like.
Like it's a mother.
So finally we get to the end of our funicular ride, and the city is immaculate. It's just insane like how big this city is and how much we can see from this hill. And so as I'm getting like a nice little shot of the city, and I'm kind of like in awe, and I'm totally proud, kind of, you know, living in the moment, I'm like, man, like I can't believe we're so high. Like this is so crazy. And then my friend goes, oh, it goes higher. And I was like, what? And so I turn around and I look up and I'm like, oh my God, there's still like a whole nother half a hill to go up. And so I'm really tired. I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm cold, and I didn't sleep on the airplane here, and like it's just been, you know, nonstop days, so like I'm exhausted and like my feet hurt. So then I think about it, like how many times am I gonna get this opportunity to climb a humongous hill and like look at Chile? So I was like, let's do it. Pain or no pain, like this is a once in a lifetime chance. And so while we're also climbing up the rest of the hill, there's a lot of people like marching together and praying. At the top of this hill, there's like a woman speaking on like an intercom or some kind of, you know, broadcasting thing. And she's saying something in Spanish, and then like the people that are in a group going up this hill, they're repeating right after her.
Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte.
And I don't know if this was like part of like, you know, this a religious thing, but we kind of just like stuck with them and climbed up the hill with them. So we finally reached the top of this hill, and it is amazing. It was so worth it getting all the way up here and seeing the city at sunset. It was just amazing. So once we kind of soaked up all these views and kind of, you know, felt proud of ourselves for coming all the way up here, we finally decided, you know, it's probably time to get back to Valparaiso, which is where we're going to be staying for the night. So we go ahead and start, you know, heading down the hill. So we're not really sure like where to go to get down the hill. So we kind of just follow the crowds that are also going down the hill too. And it starts to get dark. Very, very dark, very, very quickly. And the city looks beautiful still. It's all lit up, and you know, we're going by these trees and it's kind of quiet, and it's pretty. It was so pretty. And while we're walking, my friend tells me she doesn't recognize any of the area that we're in. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe we'll just keep walking, you know, we'll find some kind of street that you might know. And so we're walking, and no, we still don't know where we are. And my friend's trying to, you know, she took a map with her of this area, but she's only been here maybe like a handful of times, which maybe 1 or 2 times. And so I'm getting nervous because I'm like, man, like we're basically lost and it's getting really, really late. And then I start, you know, fantasizing these really crazy things happening to us, like, I don't know, getting robbed, because my friend told me ahead of time before we came to Chile, she was like, hey, just to let you know, Chile is really bad with petty theft. And then she's like, you know, make sure you carry a crossbody bag, make sure you don't keep anything in your back pockets, you keep everything like in the front or in your bag. And I was like, okay, like, you know, that shouldn't be a problem. But now we're in this situation, so I'm freaking out, and all this is coming back to me, and I'm just like, oh, I gotta stay chilled out. If we get robbed, they're gonna take what little Chilean pesos we have, and, you know, our phones, probably our watches, shut up, Mia, or my wallet, like everything. And I have no clue how to even start to get back to the United States. I probably should have looked that up before I went to another country. I am just panicking. And all of the people that were walking with us down the hill, they're gone. They're nowhere to be seen. And we found a highway, but we don't know how to cross the highway. So we're just kind of, you know, creeped out, and like every kind of movement in the bushes is like setting me off into thinking we're gonna get jumped. So finally, after, I don't know how long we were walking, we finally found like a security booth, and there was a man in there. And of course, he's right underneath this like flashing light that looks like it's from a scene of a serial killer movie. It was absolutely horrible. And we're just kind of, you know, walking up slowly to him because he's the only person who actually knows anything around here. So we have to get to him. And he's like, oh yeah, like blah, 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 this street and blah, 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 that street. And then we were like, okay. And so finally we reached what looks semi-civilization looking. And we passed a bunch of like car lots and stuff like that. And we're finally seeing streets that my friend recognizes. And she's like, oh, if we just take this street, like we can go to the bus stop. Because we have to get to the bus so that we can go back to the train station to pick up our luggage. And then from the train station, we have to find another bus that'll take us to Valparaiso. And that was just our first day. Like, I had no idea what the rest of the week was gonna entail, but just from this first day, it was incredible. But anyways, that was day 1. Mia, do you wanna say bye to your fans? She says bye.